So, a brief interlude now to give you an idea of what I was talking about when I said that Coventry was going to be, in effect, character in the film. So we'll get some nice shots like this, one hopes. Oh look, there's a spire building towards the station. Severn Trent building, for example. And there we have what's a building that's pretty well known to people in Coventry, the sports centre, or the Elephant. And as we slowly pan round, what is rapidly becoming quite a landmark in Coventry, I think, the new hub building of Coventry University. And I like it. I think from the photographer's point of view, it's fantastic. Loads of great reflections. Spire again. Council House in the distance. And just before we get there, you've got the Herbert and another well-known meeting place, Brown's. Of course, you can't have a film that features Coventry and not get the cathedral in, can you? So we're at the rear of the hub building, and actually this is a location right here that I would hope to use in the film. In fact, quite an important scene, well, a very important scene actually, right at the end of the film. But I'm just slowly walking up to really what is the major tourist location in Coventry, if in fact actually it may be the only tourist location in Coventry, certainly for a lot of people, which isn't to deny that it is actually very pleasant. I was talking about juxtapositions of old and new. Okay, that spire there is in fact Trinity Church, but just panning a bit left, there's the old cathedral spire still standing in the shell of the building. And as we move a little closer, there we have the canopy and the new cathedral as it reaches down towards Pool Meadow bus station over there in the distance. Maybe I was being a little unfair just then when I was talking about the cathedral being the only tourist location in Coventry. It's probably not true. In fact, I think quite a lot of people will maybe know something about the Coventry precinct, which for its time in this country was actually quite revolutionary. Coventry was bombed to smithereens in the war, so they planned this pedestrian precinct, which pretty much got built then as it was planned. Unfortunately, they've rather buggered about with it over more recent years, but what I'd be hoping to do in the film is to catch locations like this, but in the middle of the day when there are lots of people about, and let's say if it's summer, we hope the weather's going to be fine, there'll be people sitting here around the fountain. And what I'd also be looking to do would be to have some long shots which might, well, would pick out Alex as he threads his way through the city onto his various destinations. Just a few examples now of some of the general views that I'd like to try and get in. In the day, in the middle of the day, this ramp is always pretty busy, so you get people walking up and down here, for example. And also along here and here, maybe through here, and very probably down here. Okay, back to the film proper now. We're just after the opening sequence. Two things have changed. It's sometime later. I was just using that clock to ascertain that. And there's a change of pace. This is somebody who's in a hurry to get somewhere, so it's probably not Alex. There may still be titles running over this sequence, but again, I'm just going to try and get some viewpoints of places in Coventry as we're walking past. Almost there now. And we're back. So, after this arrival, we have the first proper scene of the film, if you like. The person who was doing the walking was in fact Alex's mum, who's just arrived back from having been to the shops, because she's working, but it's her day off today and she's got things to do, like for example the washing. And later on she's got a friend of hers, or rather it could be her sister or her sister-in-law, and they're going to be talking about a wedding that's being organised, and she wants Alex out of the way really, so she shouts upstairs, telling him to get up. It's about 10 o'clock by now. Of course he's still asleep and he mumbles something about he was just getting up, which of course he probably wasn't. So she's busying herself doing things, and eventually Alex appears. So they have a general discussion about what's going to happen in the day, what's he going to be doing, is he going to be looking for a job, and also she wants him out of the way because of Auntie Beryl coming round. Well, Alex doesn't want to be around Auntie Beryl anyway in particular, because he knows that she's going to be asking him about what he's doing about getting a job, and he doesn't want to have to encounter that again. So he is going to go out and do something and simply get out of the way. So that's really the first encounter. Alex appears, has something to eat, something probably not very healthy, despite protestations from his mother, and eventually he leaves the house, leaving her to it. And then he begins his odyssey, I suppose, if you like, and so the film begins. So Alex leaves the house, and during the discussion that he's just had with his mum, he talks about maybe going to see his dad. So we know that his dad's not living here anymore. We don't exactly know why he's not there, but Alex is going to go and see him, and he's almost certainly later going to go round to Wilson and visit Bobby. And it's during the conversation with Bobby that Alex finds out something that he didn't know before, something that he couldn't possibly have known because she didn't tell him, and something that he definitely hadn't guessed. And he realises something after this, something quite important. Later on in the day, he has another encounter, and this is towards the end of the film, and this encounter is something of a bombshell actually, and it cuts to the heart of the matter. After this encounter and the information that he's received, in fact 3 pieces of information he's received this day, and you know they say that things happen in threes, well those are the 3 things that happened to him that day. And as a result of this, Alex has got to make a decision. For maybe the first time in his life, he's actually got to make a proper decision. And what's he going to do? Well, we might just find out. And what he decides then is something that probably is going to affect the rest of his life. It's just left for us to find out whether he's going to let us in on the secret. So, there you have it. Well, it's now the middle of March, and I'm hoping to get this film made in about July. And in order to do that, I'm going to need help from a lot of people, both in front of and behind the camera, and probably quite a lot of extras. So if you're interested at all in getting involved with this project, then do please get in touch. Thanks.